all this stuff with the fires is causing a huge shift in the way that people are thinking about development and building and whatnot, because we've got so much that's transpired in such a short time over the last week that people have had to, and when I say people, I'm talking about, sort of government agencies, the mayor, obviously, the governor of California, have had to really kick into gear and create ways to rebuild the Palisades and Altadena and Malibu and all these different areas, because they've been so restricted over the last, number of decades that, the current system wouldn't work in terms of rebuilding it at a pace that makes sense. I believe that a lot of this is going to change permanently. I think you're going to see a shift in the way the permit process is run. You're going to see a shift in coastal commission rules. You're going to see a shift in the mentality in terms of timing and the timelines and schedules in terms of building single family houses or multifamily buildings. There's going to be a massive shift in all of this. The unfortunate part is we had to have a very negative circumstance to make it happen. I know a lot of people that lost their homes. I know a lot of people that are struggling right now to figure out where they're going to live. And it's horrific. But the dialogue I have with them is more about looking towards the future and what the future can bring them, how to get things going, who to speak to, what to do, versus putting your head down and really focus on all the negativity. The opportunity that's there is to build much better homes, much better structures in terms of their fire resistance. We built wood structures for so long that we're used to building with wood, and I don't think that's ever going to go away. But creating barriers ahead of the wood structure, or reinforcing the wood with different types of materials, whether it's stucco or concrete, in front of the wood. I think that's part of the solution in terms of figuring out what types of structures to build now that we know how intense these fires could really get. One of the examples, the best example I can use, is everyone's looking at Tom Hanks. His house looks like it's almost untouched, where houses around his house were burned to the ground. His house withstood everything that was going on around it because of the way they created the walls and the outdoor space. It was a very fire-resistant home. From an infrastructure perspective, you've got the power company, which had these old archaic wires all over the place in Malibu and the Palisades. Now they're going to be able to modernize that infrastructure. So you're going to have power lines underground versus above ground to create less fire hazards. You're going to have, better gas lines. You're going to have much more modern, pretty much everything in these areas, which is going to be a huge benefit to anyone that decides to rebuild. One of the biggest issues in construction, and I think just generally speaking, is that people are very reactive instead of being proactive when it comes to this stuff. So in light of the fire that we just had, now we're thinking about all these different things about how we need to build better, more fire resistant structures.